Let's get it, YouTube. How's everybody doing this lovely? I believe it is a Friday morning. Just want to give a shout out to my cousin Travella, my cousin Jeff, my cousin Kelvin. We got a chance to visit with each other while they were here in Arizona. Strictly appreciate them. Uh, but this story is about an incident that occurred with me when I was a youngster. So I think I'm positive if you watch my videos, you would know that I was a ward of the state. So when I became a free person after that, those years that I was locked up as a youngster, I would go back and try to encourage the other young ladies to live a decent life and try to not forget the path that we had been on together, but knowing that the path that we had been on together could set us up for a good future. So I would go back, and Vista Maria allowed me to come in and speak with the young ladies. So at the time, I was young, didn't have a car, so I would catch the bus. So one night, they had me come in and speak, and it probably became closer to nighttime when I left. So I walked out. If it's this campus is a huge campus. It's a girls' school, but it's a girls' school that's run by the state. So they have different places in there. I just happened to be in the one where everybody was locked up every day. They also had a high school there that I attended. They also had a place like if you become 17 or 18 and didn't have anywhere to go, they would put you like in a program, show you how to live on the outside world. I wasn't eligible for that program because I was locked up in the big facility. So, uh, so I really care about people. So I felt that that was my job because I was one of the first people in the program there at Vista Maria when it got started. So by my example and the things that I had did since I had left there were good examples, I thought I'd go back and share it with them and let them know, hey, you have a future too, but you just have to take it in your own hands. So, like I said, I was walking away from the event and I was at the bus stop. And two white dudes pulled up on me and threw something out of the truck. Thank God my reflexes was good because it turned out to be acid because it burnt up the cement. And I said to myself, then this was in the I'm gonna say early 80s, uh, even before I went to the military. Uh, that this world hasn't come a long way that people still don't like people just because of their color or I would just say race, not color, because we're part of everybody's in the human race, but we all have come from different regions and all that determines your skin color. And uh so that it was very frightening because like I said, it was evening, dark had just descended and I'm standing there by myself. It's out in the suburbs, so people are not like in the city just running up and down the street all the time. So I'm out there by myself. Here comes an old school truck, and they stop. I'm not thinking anything of it because they stopped because I get along with all type of people. So I'm thinking they're going to ask a question or whatever. I really didn't move from the spot that I was in because, that's not something basically that we do. We're not supposed, my mom taught me when I was little, never run up to somebody's vehicle or car or whatever, truck, whatever. So they pull up and they call me out of my name, and everybody knows the name that they said. Uh, and then they threw this cup they tried to splash it on me. And I thank God my reflexes were good. I was very athletic then. Uh, I jumped back and it hit the concrete. And this concrete started dissolving. And I knew if that acid had hit me, that my skin would have been gone. And I would have ended up in the hospital. My depends on where it would have landed on me at. I could have been blinded. Anything could have happened, right? And of course, as they pulled off, I was saying many expletives to them, right? Because I thought that that was real, that was a bunch of cowardice that you would see. And when I was young, I was so little. If I turned sideways, I would disappear. So you would actually, two men, grown men, would try to assault a woman in such a manner. Now, this was before the great big evolution of cell phones. I'm not going to say, but we had cell phone in the car, but we didn't have cell phones in our hand every day, right? So I thought they was like they was a bunch of cowards. You would actually, as a man, even if you were a teenager, you would actually try to harm another human being just because they're not the same color as you. I really kind of thought it was ludicrous because, first of all, the bus stop was right in front of this all white school. I was one of the first black people in that school, right? And so I just was standing there dumbfounded. I didn't, I had to put the prayer in, like, Lord, thank you so much, because you were with me, because he's always been with me, and he's proven it time and time again, that he got my back, and I'm proud to be his. And do you know? But I still, because I am human, so I was afraid when these guys did that because nobody had ever done anything like that to me. Yes, I was going to, it was an all white place. So, yeah, you've heard many words from many people. But I hadn't had any destructive racism before. And this was very overt. It was out in the open. They didn't care really if anybody saw them. They didn't care if my face had been burnt off or whatever. And so, like I said, I thanked the God, but it also caused me to kind of think and look at people a little different, because if you could assault somebody that you don't even know, you don't know if they're a nice person, you don't know if they going through something, and you just pull up and you try to destroy their life on a feeling that you have about somebody else. It really, like I said, it shook me up, because by the time that bus came, because I was saying to myself, this bus needs to hurry up, because I really need to get the heck up out of here, because this area at night is a dangerous area for black people. And I've never been through anything like that again, right? Thank God for that. But it really kind of changed my perception that people don't like people just because of who they are. I used to always fight in school because somebody was calling somebody light skin or dark skin. I never did like that kind of stuff, because that to me, it doesn't, to me, it's not logical. It doesn't make sense. We're all on the planet. Why can't we enjoy it together? Every culture is different. There's things about other people's cultures I may not like. It's things about my culture that other people may not like. But we can coexist. So the reason I told this story is that was years ago in the 80s. And things like that are still going on in 2025. I want to ask you guys, do you think that the divide in our country over race is something that in 2025, did you think that you would see this? Did you think that America could evolve to the point where we could see past race, we could see past financial. People be talking about, oh, that person is poor. They told me, I had somebody tell me one time, the crackheads got more money than you, and I laughed at them. I said, because, and I told them, I said, yeah, the crackheads got more money than me now, but eventually I'm going to have way more than them. I fell off, but guess what? God's going to give me the ability to get back up. So, yeah, they let them have fun, because they're not making their lives better with the money they running around stealing and hustling, right? So, yeah, don't down somebody because they're another race. They're another financially not on your level, because you don't know if that person has been above your level and fell off. That was my case. I was at the highest level, but I fell off. That was because of me helping other people all the time and not thinking about myself. And so, yeah, I had fell off, but I'm not going to down someone else if I see them beneath me, because guess what? Really, they're not beneath me. They may be financially challenged for the moment. They may be financially challenged forever, but that doesn't make me better than them if I was financially well off. It doesn't. So, can we learn how to have differences, know that there are differences, but we supposed to really kind of ignore the differences because it doesn't matter. As long as a person is a good person, they treat people nicely, they are selfless, their character is good. That's what I try to judge people by. I don't judge you if you. I have many friends that have lots and lots and lots of money, but I don't even ask them for any money because that's their money. That's the thing that they did to make their life better for themselves. So that's not on me to be asking them for their money, and they don't judge me because I don't have any money. They don't do it. Whenever we're out, they take care of the bill. They don't care because we're friends or we're family. It just depends on who I'm with. So we got to stop judging people on what they have. Judge them by their character. Don't judge them by their color, because guess what? I've known many times of many people having to save people of other cultures. Uh, just think of the firemen. They go in houses every day and they pull people out of those houses they don't know, will never know. They're heroes, and even if they are whatever, they still doing their job because they get paid for it, and they do what they're supposed to do. They don't care if what color you are. They don't care if you're a baby. They don't care if you're a child. They don't care if you're a senior. They're going to pull you out of there because that's their job. So let it be our job to care for other people, not because they're this or that or the other, just because they're a human being. Because I think that we have forgotten about the human being side of life. The human being side of life is really important, people, because we all are human beings and we all want to be treated like human beings. I don't care if you're on this side of the earth, on the other side of the earth. Excuse me. Oh, excuse me. We really need to get some of this stuff together. But that's it for me today, YouTube. I just kind of like to ask questions. you know, what do you think that we can do to get other human beings to see other human beings and to see them as human beings and to treat them as human beings, no matter their station in life? A lot of countries use a caste system. I'm seeing that America is using a caste system and has been using a caste system. It's called rich and poor, right? And so, can we get beyond the caste system? Because guess what? If we can get beyond that caste system, we could get a lot of things together. Yeah, for real. We could get a lot of things together. But guess what? I appreciate everybody that stops by, like, comment, subscribe, and share. Uh, a lot of things going on. Like I said, my cousins out here visiting. I'm enjoying them. Uh, we had a good time with Kelvin for his birthday. Uh, it is what it is. Life be life, and y'all. Later, YouTube.